right, guys, let's talk about one of my biggest, dumbest fucking mistakes I made in my life. So, I was traumatized and such, as I have been my whole life. And there was this one time, okay? So I've explored with psychedelics many times. My favorite is Schmally, my very favorite. I will say, I don't take them anymore. And mostly because of the side effects. If they didn't have side effects, I would, take them all the time. But the thing is I am autistic and I don't like the side effects. They make me nauseous, they make me puke, they make me shit, all that stuff. They're, or with Schmally, it makes me very, it's got a weird breathing feature on it because it's got the schmeth in it, It makes me feel like I can't breathe. Which, as an asthmatic now, I'm like, absolutely not. But, before I wasn't asthmatic and whatever. And also it's like, Schmally is kind of worth taking because because of the effects of it. It makes you obviously feel like you're in love with everything. It's the craziest thing in the entire world. That's all I can explain about that D-rug. Okay, but let's talk about the first time I ever took it, okay? So, again, I was experimenting. When you're traumatized and stuff, you're trying to escape your reality. And that's why I feel like I went down the psychedelic route, because I was looking for answers. I was trying to get the fuck out of my reality. I was trying to escape my reality, and I was looking for answers. And people said that, doing these D-rugs, it makes it all magical, and it's all fun and all this shit. And honestly, I really had a hard time with psychedelics all my life. I do feel like they opened up my brain and neural pathways to channeling into a different realm. But they were rarely super enjoyable for me. Schmally's the only one. Confirmation marks. That was very enjoyable for me because, and even that, it wasn't super, I was sweating and, that song, Pop to Schmally, I'm sweating. Yeah, that's a real thing. And also, you just get the side effects from it. And I've been told multiple times when the aliens come down, they literally have these psychedelics without the side effects. That's what they've told me. So I'm like, I will be first in line for those, but until such time, I'm done with psychedelics down here. However, I am a big advocate for them. So if you are still doing psychedelics and all that stuff, keep doing it if you like them, And they can teach you a lot. The thing with Shacid and Shroomies was that, sorry guys, I have to use code words. Hopefully I don't get this shit taken down. Because, you can't, I don't think you could talk about D-rugs on here. I don't know. Anyway. So, was that they always made me very anxious. And, all it did was, I had to take it so many times to, get into my head that I had anxiety. That's what's crazy is, I did not even have awareness that I had anxiety at one point in my life. I thought everybody functioned the way that I did. But then when I took psychedelics and I would watch people, which it does for everybody. You can tell people tweak out and shit. But still, there was a level of enjoyment that I feel like people had on it that I didn't. Because I was so heady. I was so in my head. I was so anxious. All my insecurities came to the forefront whenever I would take them. Or I would think about all my issues in my life, which was good for me, but it sucked. It wasn't always this fun, magical time. Now I will say Shroomies, I've had euphoric experiences on those too, like Schmally, but Acid, I never did. Acid was always a very intense time for me, but I always took them. And it was weird. I did enjoy it. I did enjoy the fact that I got out of my reality, sort of. It doesn't, I don't know how to explain it. That's just my experience. Everybody else ever had, that's what I'm saying. I think my experience on psychedelics is a little bit different than other people's. Or maybe it wasn't and people just don't talk about this. I don't know. Because again, the way that it's portrayed is psychedelics are these most magical thing and they fix all your problems and they, get you connected. And it's nah, not always. Shweed, marijuana, yes. I think everybody should be doing that. I think everybody should be doing Shweed and shmarijuana. For me, that's decompress my central nervous system. I've never felt anxious on Shweed. Well, that's not true. I used to. Now I don't because I'm so, anyway, again, I'm a seasoned, I've been smoking Shweed since I was in college. So my brain's been doing all these funky psychoactive shit. And, I have this theory that I became this way because my brain just actually stored every single D-rug I ever took and it's just slowly titrating little drops of it into my brain. And that's what's actually different than other people is it might not actually be that I'm psychic and channeling. It's just that I have am titrating micro parts of all the D-rugs I took and my brain just happens to store it and other people's brains get rid of it. don't actually think that's what's happening, but I'm just like, there's no other explanation as to how, because now I just feel like my life is like a total trip, you know, like that's why I really don't even feel drawn to drugs anymore, because my life, it feels like I'm on an acid trip every fucking day, like with these, like the psychic downloads and the shit that I have to go through and the healing and the stuff that my brain's doing. And I'm just like, this blows any acid or shroom or schmolly trip out of the fucking water for me, genuinely. And I don't even feel the need to do it. And Ram Dass talked about that. He's like, you'll get to a point where like you won't even feel like you need, because he took like fucking industrial doses of shit, you know. So did Terrence McKenna, that whole thing. That whole movement, Timothy Leary and all that stuff in the 60s and the hippie and the Christ consciousness, all that shit. He was like, you don't have to, and then you listen to him and you're like, oh yeah, this dude's like, he totally figured it out. He figured his shit out. So back to the story. So the first time I ever took schmolly, I was at a campfire with my sister, and I had taken acid already at the beginning of that day. And we're sitting at the campfire. And I'm at my house, right, with my sister. And this is what we did. Me and my sister, when we got, like, you know, a little bit older, we really bonded, and we would do this. We would take psychedelics together, and we would heal. It was great, honestly. Now that I have a lot to say about that. We're going to talk a lot about that. So she offers me schmolly. And I'm like, okay, yeah, I've never taken that. Why not? Okay, first of all, don't mix psychedelics. Rookie fucking mistake. It's the same thing as fucking like mixing alcohol. Don't, just stick to one, okay? Okay. So, you know, I take the schmolly. So since I'm already on acid, I'm not processing the way that schmolly actually like is in your body, because I'm already having a psychedelic experience of acid. So I was like logically trying to logic my way through the feelings that I was having. So it was making me extremely anxious, right? Okay, so that was stupid as it was. Then my sister's like, hey, I have some smoke, some Coca-Cola. I'm like, oh, okay. She's like, I've never tried that either. So I'm like, let me just take everything that I've never tried before. Well, I'm already on a psychedelic. This is what I'm saying. I was stupid, guys. The noggin was not fucking working for many years. And this is like only one of the stupid decisions I made. So that's what I'm saying. Like, everybody thinks, oh, you're so smart, Lauren. I'm like, yeah, because bitch, I fucking learned not to be stupid. I don't know how I didn't die. So I start tweaking, bro. I'm tweaking. But of course I don't tell my sister this. I don't want her to worry. So my boyfriend at the time, he lived in the city of Chicago. I lived in the suburbs. I was like an hour away. I'm like, I'm going to drive to his house. It's like, well, his apartment. I'm like, it's like 3 a.m. in the morning. But I'm like so uncomfortable that I'm like, I need to like leave. I just started to get this feeling of like, I'm crawling out of my skin. It was the most uncomfortable experience of my entire life, genuinely, mentally. So my ass is on 3 types of D-Rugs, and I drive my ass an hour and a half down to Chicago, get there safely, lovely, love it. He's sleeping, so I don't even know. So I'm trying to like call him so I can like come just like sleep with, you know, just like sleep in his bed and feel comfortable and shit. But he's sleeping, so he's not answering the fucking phone. So I'm sitting out in my car outside his apartment, and I start to get the come down of Molly. And I've never had a come down like this before. And it was like, I literally called my sister screaming. I was like, you need to bring me something to kill this. Like, I am dying. I feel like I'm crawling out of my skin. Like, I need to go to the hospital. Like, I was tweaking really, really hard. So my sister had to drive all the way from the suburbs with Xanax, because that's how you kill a trip. If you're in a bad trip, you got to get a benzo in you, bro. So she brings it down. I take it. I'm like tweaking really hard. She feels horrible. She's like, I'm so sorry. I didn't think this would happen. Blah, blah, blah. You know, she feels horrible. I'm a dumbass, whatever. I take the benzos. Luckily, it kills it. I don't have to go to the hospital or anything like that. But it was literally the stupidest thing I've ever done in my entire life. It was so stupid. And there are, you know, this is why I'm like, you got to be careful with psychedelics, guys, because it's not this whole magical, mystical thing. You can really get yourself in some pickles that can really fuck with you, you know? So that was one of the stupidest things I've ever done in my entire life. And I haven't done it since. I've learned my lesson, and, you know, that's why I'm not really a proponent for myself right now, because I'm just, the side effects are not my thing. So when they don't have side effects, I'll be, you know, but for people who do it, totally, they helped me a lot. They did, but also they were hard to deal with sometimes.